I wonder how many of you have had this kind of experience. Someone comes to you with an idea or a project or inviting you to make a commitment to something. And they give you the idea and the vision and all of the things that would be involved, and they say to you, and it shouldn't take too much time, and it shouldn't be too big a commitment, and it'll only last for a little while. And you think about it, and I know I have had them. I thought about it. I get excited about the possibilities of the thing that I'm being invited into, and then I start to do it. And as we get into the project or the ministry or the thing that has been presented to us, it becomes something that takes more and more and more and more. And the vision and the goal gets lost. Because there are all these side directions, all of these things that take up all of our energy. Oh, would you handle this? And oh, would you handle that? And oh, could you do this? Or oh, we need this. And pretty soon, something that had the promise of giving life and energy to us becomes something like a black hole of energy. You know, the black hole that draws all the light out of the area. And these projects become like that black hole that draws every bit of energy and life out of you. So you just don't want to do it. Worse yet, you're not even sure you can continue to do it. There are a lot of things in our lives that can do that to us. A lot of things, and some of them we think will bring us life and security, hope and fulfillment, but they don't. Jesus tells a parable like that, only his parable is very focused on the matter of greed, and I want to retell the parable and think about it and invite you to think about it as it applies not only to greed, because none of us like to admit we could be greedy, but to everything that doesn't lead to life and instead draws the life out of us. There was a rich man, Jesus said, and this rich man had a year when his crops produced far more than he expected, abundantly, we are told. Overflowingly, so that they wouldn't fit in the barns that he already had. And he thought, this is a good problem. What am I going to do? This is a great problem. You know, the kind of problems we get sometimes that, oh, wow, this is a positive problem. But what am I going to do? He thinks about it for a while. And he says to himself, I know what I'll do. Well, notice, he just talks to himself. He says, self, soul, let's tear down the barns that we have, and let's build ones big enough to hold everything. To hold everything. Then we'll have a place to store all of my goods and all of my produce. And so he does that. And when he's finished, he sits back and he says, soul, let's relax, eat, drink, be merry, because there's nothing else for us to do now. We are safe and secure for the rest of our lives. And as life would have it, that very day, his life is taken from him. And Jesus asks, so whose stuff's it going to be now? Be careful, he says, about where you seek your security and your life. What do we make our commitments to? There are all things that cry out for our commitments. If you would watch the commercials for very long, you get the idea. Every time something is calling out to us, make this your life's goal. Make this the thing you got to have. Make this the stuff you got to have. But it's not just things. It's also, it's projects and a sense of self and the way we define ourselves and even our values. Some of them call out to us and cry out to us and want us to give everything that we have to it. As the reading suggests, it demands our soul. And so here are a couple of questions to think about. I'm not going to suggest answers because I think every one of us will answer them differently. What are the commitments and things that you are engaged in now, or that we as a congregation are engaged in, that take away our energy? Take away our energy in ways that leave us feeling lifeless. There are things that leave me feeling very tired at the end of the day, but it's that good tired where I'm smiling, at least inside, and I feel like I have given myself to something that mattered, that was beyond myself. But what are those things that we get drawn into that just take the life out of us? Each one of us would answer that differently. Can those things be transformed? That's the second question. Why did we originally make the commitments we made to those things? And can that original vision or goal or sense of giving ourselves away in faithful discipleship, can that be recovered? And can that commitment be transformed in some way? Or is it something we need to leave behind, to let go of? And then third, what new commitments could we make? Where do we want to invest our lives as faithful disciples, as those who seek to live in ways that demonstrate the justice and the mercy and the love and the grace of God? Where are those things, those commitments, those projects, those ministries that will make us, or that will lead us to be agents of reconciliation in the name of Christ? What are they for you? What are they for me? What are they for our community? What are they for our culture? How can we participate in those ministries? The text invites us to stop and think about where we are putting our time, where we are investing ourselves, what things are demanding our souls, our whole life, and suggesting to us that longing for things that don't lead to life is not very positive, of course. But longing for God, now that leads to life. Longing for faithful discipleship, that leads to life. And so we're going to sing a psalm that may be new to us. And we were teasing a little bit before worship today about the title. Flip to the next slide. As the deer pants for water, so I pant, so I long for you, O God.